Unit 4, Learning Target 2, Evaluate Relationships and Function Notation through Substitution and by Graph. So this is one of the more confusing ones, so we're going to spend a lot of time on this. If you don't get this after this video, we are going to spend like at least 2 days in class practicing this and doing different things for that. Some of this, though, we've already talked about in class when we did Learning Target 1. So function notation. So if you want to pause this, write this down, then press play. That's what I would do. So function notation is where a function is named with a letter. So this is what I was talking about. So normally we see like, oh, this is really fat. So like y equals 2x plus 7. That's so fat. Well, instead of it being y now, it's going to be a function. So we say the function of x where it's 2x plus 7. So instead of y, we write f of x. So that's like the only difference. It's now a function. That's where the f is, function. And this letter could be anything, as I was saying. Just like we don't have to make these x and y. We could have done like a is 2b plus 7. So this could be function of h, where 2h plus 7. And we say this as, and I'll write that down here. We say, where am I? We say this as f of x. That's how we say that little thing. F parentheses x. We say f of x. S of x. So this would be f of x equals 4x plus 1, and that's the function. And f is the name of the function. Alrighty. Let's skip that real fast. Alright, so here's your example. So if we had y equals 2x plus 4, and you can try this, pause it, and then play it to make sure that you're the same. Alright, why you being? So my function then should be f of x now instead of y equal, sorry, I have to go to this. My mimeopad is broken, so this might take a little bit longer. I'm sorry. So it would instead be f of x equals 2x, and this is again me not using mimeo because it just broke on me, plus 4. So instead of it saying y, it's a function of x. So there's different function notations now. So we'll see a couple of them, and on right now, I don't know why they aren't showing up. So f of 3, this is more common. So this is, what is my answer if I plug in? So instead of x, I'm plugging in 3. This is normally an x. So all I'm going to do is plug this number in for here. So I can write that as, now, f of, in parentheses, 3, sorry, again, this is really bad, equals, instead of x now, 2 times x, instead of x, I'm going to write 2 times 3. So I'm just substituting, when it's in the parentheses, substituting that number in for x. When it's written like this, and you might want to write that down, when it's written like f of a number, you substitute that number in for x. So 2 times 3 plus 4. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 4 gives me my 10. I normally write that all out, but this is really difficult. Let's see if this will work now. All right. Let's see. Where am I? So on your paper we have f of 4, we have f of 2, we have x, and this is a new one, when f of x equals 2, and then we also have x when f of x equals 5. Again, it's starting to poop out again. So these two are our easier ones. Up top, where am I? Sorry, I can't use that. So these two are the easier ones, and I'll do this. So these two are normally our easier ones. So this is where we're plugging these in for x. So if we look at 4, x is down here. F of 4 is, I'm going to look where x is 4. What number is that on this graph? Right there, right here. If I look over, that's a 1. So f of 4 is 1. F of 2, so now I look where my x, right, I'm plugging this in for x. Again, I would write that again. When it's written like f of a number, we plug that number in for x. X is down here, plug that number in. So if I look at 2 and I come all the way up, I have 4. This is a function because each of my, it passes the vertical line test. Each of my x values, this x value has only one y value. This x value has only one y value. So x when f of x, so this is kind of now, this is the harder one. This is f of a number. This is now x when f of x is a number. So this is like saying when this is y. If this is y, what is x? So when you have something written like this, there's second to, the last two, so maybe I'll do these in blue. The last two, and maybe you want to write that down when they're written like this, you want to plug that number in for y. And that would be the same if I was solving up here, which we're going to practice in class. So if I'm going to look where y is 2, so that's right here. I go across. I see a point right there. But again, so this is since y, I can keep going, and I see another point. So this has 2 answers. So I'm going to call that, I don't know, what, 3.2? 3.2, and it also has 6. So there's 2 answers here. So the answer for x when f of x is 2 is 3.2 and 6. So x when f of x is 5, I look up here at 5, there's only 1 point there. There's nothing else. And what is that? I don't know, 1.2. So sorry again about the handwriting with the Mimeo. It's really bad. All right. Before class. So what you're going to do before class is you're going to try and do what I just did. So you're going to look at, so the easier ones, so this would be like in green again. These 2 would be the green ones. These 2 would be the blue ones. And then this one is a little bit harder. This is just like how many values make this statement true. So what values can you plug in so that's a true statement? So try that at home before you come in on Monday. And now for my story. So I am the youngest of 3. I have an older brother and an older sister. My brother's the oldest. And so when we were little, you know, we all used to fight and pick on each other. And my brother got to babysit because he was the oldest. But I don't even know if he was babysitting when this happened because I was young. So my brother, what he used to do to me is he would chase me around the house with a knife and scare me. Like he would act like he was going to, not that he actually would, but he just thought it was fun because he was a boy, I don't know. He would chase me around the house with a knife until the point where I would run into my bed, jump into my bed, and pull the covers over my head because I was so scared. And then after like a couple of minutes, I wouldn't, like he wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't hear anything. So I'd take my head out of the covers, and my brother would just be standing there smiling, holding a spoon. So he would try and convince me, so that way I wouldn't tell my parents on him, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I was chasing you with a spoon the whole time. And this happened for quite some time. Yeah, not a smart kid. So there you go.